Welcome back to the final part of Bendy and the Ink Machine. We are so goddamn close. You don't even realize it. I think I'm still kind of recovering a little bit from how long Chapter 3 was. I don't know.
I think all of us are, including audience members. Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that Chapter 3 is like the low point of the game. But now we are here. Where is
so this is a bit of a maze actually, and you're also going to kind of see that. Remember the Butcher Gang from the previous?
Oh yes.
Chapter 3. Yeah, they're going to be kind of roaming around in the halls and like maze area, and we have to try to avoid them as best as possible. There are a couple of miracle stations we can hide in if they find us, but otherwise you basically just want to try to stay away from them.
Gotcha. Alrighty then.
And we're trying to find a way to the end. I do kind of.
What happened to your mouse?
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that just kind of happens every once in a while, where it just kind of stops functioning, and I turn in circles for a little bit. It's really annoying.
How old is your mouse?
It's probably as old as my PC is, so I could probably use a better one.
So how
like
old is
4
your
years
PC?
old?
How old is your PC?
You're asking me for a number?
It's
seeing the parts that you have, I say about 3 to. I say like around, at the very least 3 or 4 years old.
Maybe somewhere right around that, yeah. I mean, I've definitely had it for a couple of years. It is probably definitely outdated compared to more like recent stuff now.
Hey.
Well, the thing is about like whenever we say this, all like it updates every single year.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah, like the standards like have to keep evolving, I suppose, with every coming year. That's why we're like on iPhone 13 by the time next year happens.
Honestly, iPhone 13 with 12 cameras.
Right, because like it's not something
The whole backside of the camera.
Like the whole thing about with like the phones and stuff is apart from like the video game consoles and stuff, because the video game consoles can last a pretty long time. Like the span between the PS4 and the PS5 was about 7 years. That seems like a good lifespan.
That's a pretty good lifespan. Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of what you want to shoot for.
Right, because the need to like evolve from that wasn't really necessary until 7 years in, when they thought it would be a good time to do so, right? So, but when it comes with the phone industry, I don't know who had this quote brilliant idea of just needing to come out with the latest installment every single year.
They just fucking chuck out phones.
Exactly. I don't understand why
they throw out phones and they come up with a new USB type every time too.
Right? Because like wasn't it like 2012 we had the USB Type B stuff, and then around 2017 we had the USB Type C stuff.
Do you remember that one? That fucking a bridge show that showed you, Ethan? Or one of the jokes they put like, oh, the Comanche just stopped carrying it altogether, but those yearly iPhones were worth it.
I don't remember that.
You don't? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
it was a while ago.
Okay,
yeah, fair enough. It was kind of trash.
Cringe. But yeah,
I
you see what
I spend my time on YouTube way too much. Just spend too much time on YouTube.
Exactly. Subscribe today.
No.
What do you mean,
That's narcissistic.
Yes, you are. Shut up.
I'm not.
But you see what I'm getting at with the phones, right?
Yeah, I know. I completely understand.
Alrighty then.
Anyway, back to the game.
There's a game
What
going
are
on?
you talking about? What are you talking about, Josh? We're never talking about the game.
Yeah, exactly.
What a podcaster channel the whole time.
What's a game?
Why is there a box here?
The game is just for visual flair. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So for this kind of maze that we're in, I do know where we're actually supposed to go, by the way. But there are some certain
So just showing us around is what you're saying.
we saw one already of. So I'm also just kind of looking for those because I do not remember what those are because this place is so freaking big.
Oh, okay.
So I'm basically just opening every single door until I find them. But I do know where I have to go to make things a bit faster. And I'm also you also gotta notice parts like this where I'm just waiting because I can hear some of the butcher gang like through the walls, and I'm just trying to avoid them.
Gotcha.
Okay, again, look where we've been in this animation studio. We've been in what you expect. What you expect, like a normal workstation for the drawers, and a music place. It makes sense, but it just gets ridiculous as we go on. It gets more and more ridiculous.
Yeah, like right there, there's a whole fountain.
Yeah, for ink.
Yeah, for ink. I didn't know that's how ink was produced back then. So, like, yeah, there was, like, we have the animation studio, then there's the music studio. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, perfect example, like, oh, yeah, you can definitely see the both of those in one facility, but then eventually we found like a fucking
well, like, first we had a toy factory. Which I guess it kind of makes sense, but I guess in the real world it would work as like you have the company and then the toy company is like on the other side of the country or something like that.
It's usually not part of the same building or whatever.
Right, like the example.
They were trains. They were like trains.
Yeah, there were like full function trains.
And an amusement park.
Amusement park. We got attacked by a freaking scrambler.
Yeah, and there was an entire personal sewer for just ink.
Yeah, and it's still
we had a different part of the animation studio.
Yeah, now we're back here in the animation studio. I don't know.
Again, we said this before. The budget probably blew up just because of how big the facility was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also kind of like interesting if you really think about it, because like, I mean, because like of all the places we've been through, like we've pretty much only been going downwards throughout the studio.
Oh, maybe it's symbolic.
We gotta be close to like the center of the earth or something at this point. Like,
yes, like that, like at the end of chapter 3, that long elevator ride down to hell. Yeah. Maybe it's thematic. We know what that means.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, but maybe it's like a whole theme. It's like, you're descending down to hell.
Yeah.
Oh, where there are choo-choo trains here for some reason.
Well, I mean, it makes sense with the thematic thing that Bendy is a demon.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the whole, like, there is a sort of religious element to the whole story. I'm not sure.
It's not that prevalent though.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting at. It's like there is something structured around it, but I don't think they really
push it into your face.
Yeah, they don't really. Well, more or less, they don't like really outstate it. Like it's more of subtext on the walls and the writings and everything. Right?
Yeah, like you have to look for it to see it, we are.
Yeah, and potentially the recordings here. I haven't actually been reading those things, but
honestly, yeah, I don't think we've even paid attention to a single one of these recordings. We're time recording this game.
Right, the only thing we paid attention to these was Flynn, Jack Flint. That's not correct. But yeah, there is definitely some religious elements to it. It just isn't like. I don't want to say the centerpiece because it sort of is with the whole demon aspect to it. But I'm not sure exactly what it's trying to go for, I suppose.
And then also, I guess while we're still we still kind of have the topic of like these recordings stuff like that, because I have the thing on the side for like what it's saying and stuff like that. I actually scaled that up when I was editing these parts and stuff because it's actually really small and it's almost kind of hard to text sometimes. So I made it bigger in editing so you can actually read it. Well, yeah, it's actually kind of small.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be that small.
Yeah, you can see it for a brief moment when these are coming up and kind of going. I didn't get rid of that because it's just kind of a cut kind of edit, but yeah, these are usually like a bit smaller than what they're actually shown as.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought that was the intentional game design.
I mean, it would have been nice if that's how it was supposed to be, but no, it's not.
Because that looks really good, actually. But now that I know that it's fake,
Your dreams are crushed.
my dream.
I mean, I guess I could have mentioned it earlier, but I mean, we weren't paying attention to any of the voice recordings this entire time.
Right.
We mentioned it like once in a while, but then we just like didn't go that deep into it.
That was like in part 1, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. Cause like we would have gone through this, right? And then maybe one day I'll be like, Bendy Ink Machine, it's on the Steam sale. All right, I might as well get it. It's only like $1 right now. And then I play and get to the voice recordings. Why is it text so small?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, we could have just gone through this entire thing without me watching that, and you would have just been like, why is it smaller than in the video?
What happened here? Josh, tell me your mystical power.
I used mods, no. Honestly, now that I just mentioned that, like, I'd honestly love to see what kinds of mods, if anyone decided to make a mod for Bendy the Ink Machine, like what that looked like.
Oh yeah. Have you not explored that before?
So we could probably make some interesting stuff out of this if they actually knew how to do it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. In fact, I would actually like to know what this game would look like from the third-person perspective. So, like, we have it in first person right here. What if, just for the sake of modding stuff, we take it a third-person camera and make it like the classic Resident Evil fixed camera positions?
I mean,
that would be cool.
You never see the character at all.
I was gonna say that would be cool with like the third person like camera, but from how the game was designed, I'm pretty sure there's no character models. You'd probably just be just walking around as nothing.
Right? Because isn't it like, I don't know if it's true for like a lot of first person games, but isn't it like they just make like your upper body, maybe your legs sometimes, and then if you somehow manage to look at your own face, it just turned out to be like a camera.
I feel like that might be kind of how it usually is and stuff. And I actually just kind of remembered randomly that someone did like a mod for Mirror's Edge, the first one.
Oh yeah.
Where it actually makes the camera third person, and like she does have a full model, but you're not made to see it like that. So it looks really weird.
Yeah, I do remember that now because when we were doing the Mirror's Edge, our classic playthrough, subscribe to our channel. There's like Faith's body was all stiff and everything, and there was that one moment where she hugged her sister, and it was like the most awkward looking hug ever.
Yeah, because you're not made to see the game like that, so they didn't really animate it to look good in a third person perspective.
Right, it's like they animated the legs and like the half part of the arms, and then nothing else.
Yeah, because you wouldn't see the rest of it moving. So
right. It's like Faith's body was like at a perfect straight angle. Punch that door.
So she was talking about how we need to like get through the door. She's like, I'm gonna need supplies to open this, and it makes it seem like it's gonna be another collection sequence. But then Tom just goes over and just fucking punches the door.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to go through that shit again.
Cool, yeah, okay. It's pretty much, since it is the last chapter, it's pretty much wanting you to go, like, blazing through the chapter, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, because we're kind of really close to the end, so it's like, we won't have to worry about doing this kind of crap, so...
Yeah. Oh.
So here's a good chance to get a good look at Bendy.
Yeah, that is a good chance.
Looking kind of thick.
What's he doing?
It's
like he's walking down the catwalk or something.
You kind of get cold from Susie to kind of be quiet, but he can't actually like notice you from the glass, so it doesn't really kind of take to kind of make it feel like it actually means something.
Okay, so.
But yeah, you can just kind of completely walk past this if you want to. And something interesting in this room, because you can see some doors like in the hallway behind the glass and stuff. I assume if you have like some kind of mod or like a cheat like a cheat engine to clip through the wall, you can actually interact with those doors. There's nothing behind them, but you can open them for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Is that ink machine?
Yeah, this is the so okay, so the one that was kind of going down on like the like all the chains and stuff, and the one that we saw in chapter 1, that's like a smaller version of the chain that just went up on top of this gigantic one that we see in front of us.
So, oh.
So this is kind of like a real ink machine, basically.
Was the other one just like the small one from Las Vegas?
I guess you can kind of compare it to that, yeah.
We stole the Eiffel Tower. The small one from Las Vegas. Also, the Statue of Liberty. Also from Vegas.
We stole the Statue of Liberty! The small one from Las Vegas. And I won't even mention the Eiffel Tower! Also Vegas.
Okay, that's actually kind of funny.
All right.
Oh.
So it's now basically Susie's basically saying like, you know, it's up to you to basically put an end to this because you have to walk to the other side through all the ink, and they're basically saying they can't really go with you because I mean, as they put it, a drop of water.
A drop of water and a drop in the ocean is rarely seen again.
Yeah, so basically, if they tried to follow me, they probably would have just dissolved into the ink.
Right, because like those two are themselves ink monsters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, so you're actually an actual human in this game. Okay.
Yeah, you're an actual person.
Okay, yeah, because I was actually.
Still remember my name. That's a fucking ominous thing to write on the wall.
Yeah, because I was wondering if like you yourself were some sort of ink machine, but the game doesn't outright tell you, like some sort of plot twist at the end, perhaps, or if you were actually human. So.
I mean, we're basically at the end, aren't we? So, well, let's find out.
Yeah, we're pretty close to the end. This is just like a little area we're in where we're seeing people, I guess, being made, and you can also kind of see like what, at least what I'm assuming is supposed to represent like Boris.
Yeah, I saw like a silhouette of Boris in that ink blob. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, is that one last recording?
Yep, this is the last little voice recording that we got. And it's mostly just kind of saying like, you know, oh, we've come a long way at a lot of stuff. You can even kind of see all these little like cartoons that I guess were supposed to be like, you know, this is what like they made like in the animation studio or something. Which some of these are actually kind of nice looking.
Yeah, they are, but they look
these
like
are really well made actually.
It looks like they made like 12 different animations, but only like 3 frames of them.
Yeah, no,
it's only like a little bit kind of that just kind of repeat on loop.
Huh. Interesting.
And it's saying like, you know, this is kind of, you know, it's supposed to end. Bendy was there for, you know, when the start, but he's never seen the end, and so you know, you have to kind of. This is like the final boss, basically. You're gonna see here's Bendy.
Uh-oh.
And
Okay. Uh-oh. I don't like this. Uh-oh. Oh, no. That's pretty scary.
So this, I can't remember the exact conversation we had in the previous part, but there was something that we were talking about, and I wanted to keep like this transformation of Bendy kind of a secret until the end.
I see.
And so this is basically like the final boss. This is like Beast Bendy, I think, or whatever it's supposed to be called.
Beast Bendy.
We have to kind of make sure that he doesn't ram into us.
Okay. So final boss. Oh, there are arrows on. Oh.
Yeah. So I didn't see where he was. This was my an old death in the entire playthrough. I was hoping to not die, but this is what happens when you die.
Holy crap! Was that an insta kill?
Yeah. Yeah. He just kills you if he touches you, pretty much.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah.
So when you die, you just respawn at like your last checkpoint.
Yeah, so all those like kind of like Bendy statues we've been kind of seeing throughout the game that I respawn at, those are basically like your checkpoints or like your respawn points. Basically, that's what those are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we never really seen them get used because I've never really died up until this point.
Yeah, it was. Wow, I was not expecting that. He legit insta-killed you. Holy.
Yeah, like I said, I was kind of hoping to not die throughout this entire playthrough since I've been doing so good, but unfortunately, I guess I just wasn't paying close enough attention.
You find some pocket change in the middle of the street. It's like, oh look, a penny, and then the car comes up behind you. Josh, get out the way! Huh?
He's got his AirPods and he can't hear us.
Huh?
So this is a bit of a weird. I don't even know if you could really consider this a boss fight because we're basically running around avoiding him and trying to flip a bunch of switches that are going to open doors for a later point.
Okay.
Like a later point in this like big room, but we have to try to find where those switches are, like that one over there.
So like you can use the little magnifying, or not magnifying, the little
Lens.
thing, the lens.
Might as well be a magnifying glass, Jesus.
Right? Yeah. You know, the little device kind of reminds me of, I forgot the name of it, but it was some item you got in Ocarina of Time that could let you see invisible stuff.
Oh yeah, God, what is that called?
I don't remember. It was purple. I know that.
That's like the tip of my tongue too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So do I.
yeah, that's what this reminds me of.
I guess it is kind of the like forward. You can kind of say like it's kind of a similar thing because like isn't that used to help you like see like secret like things you can go through?
Yeah, I believe like the little thing is used in the Shadow Dungeon, which can help you see invisible platforms. Which you can use to like use the hover boots to get to. That game is wild. I haven't played that in so long.
Alright, so I think we just hit the last switch. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be going. I don't know if I'm going to another one, but I'm pretty sure we just hit the last one. So
Okay.
now I have to make sure we don't die again.
Yeah. It seems like the hallways have little alcoves in them, so you can avoid Bendy's ram attack.
They have little like bits you can kind of hide behind and around corners so that you can try to avoid getting hit from his ramming attack.
Yeah. So that's good. So you don't walk up in the open. He's got his AirPods in.
Who's laughing now?
Oh man. Okay. So
No, this is like a little. We did hit the last of the switches. There was a bunch of little doorways. Well, I guess they weren't really little, but there was a bunch of doorways that we walked through that would have normally been closed if we didn't hit any of the switches. So we did that. Now we have to try to. I think this is going to turn on the ink from some of the things. Yeah, it's going to turn on the pillars. And here's Beast Bendy again.
Here he is. Run away.
So now what we basically have to do is we have to try to get him to smack into these different ink pillars.
Classic. I like that.
Yeah.
And it's fairly simple as long as you're not stupid and just kind of standing out in the open.
Right. Yeah. Just yeah. He has to do a wind up before he actually goes.
Yeah, he has a bit of a charge up before he starts like kind of trying to ram into you.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives you enough time to run around up to the next one to wait for him to hit it.
Oh.
Assuming you will hit it, you'll usually just kind of miss the first time.
Yeah. I can't even see where he is on the screen.
Well, because I'm looking at him.
Yeah, I'm always kind of running away from him, but.
Oh. Okay. Oh yeah, that would make sense. Don't look at the oncoming car. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so he destroyed the last one. So now we gotta.
Thought you
Get the
died.
fuck out of here.
I thought you died again. Alrighty.
It'd be kind of funny if I did, honestly.
I know, right?
It's just so good throughout the whole game, and then my death run just my deathless run.
Right. Okay. So after he broke it, does that mean he just flooded himself? What happened? Oh no, he's right there.
Ooh. You know, I'm gonna watch the movie.
Huh.
Hey, that's the end. I don't know why that does anything to Bendy, but I guess it does.
When your
Well,
TV show
consider that
gets
says he's never seen the end and saying that he's never had an end. And it's not that he has an end, he dies.
when your TV show gets canceled.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Huh. So because like his show never got the full airtime and that's why the ink got haunted or something. I don't get it.
I guess maybe. Right, but now he's seen the end, so he's just kind of he's finally destroyed, and now we're I guess in some house.
Huh?
We're in a house.
Yeah.
Big change of pace because we're used to seeing everything in freaking like monochrome.
Yeah. That was the first thing that struck out at me because now we're seeing this whole thing, in everything was black and yellow, but now there's actual color. Like there's some green, there's some brown,
There's life.
and a trash can.
Now you're just trying to impress me.
This is the last little cutscene of the game. This is basically kind of like the ending bit. This is actually Joey that you're talking to.
Oh, okay.
We've had voice recorders in before, but now we're like actually talking with him because I guess we like went to his house or something maybe.
I was.
Huh.
The success starved me. Nothing left but lies.
Nothing left but lines on a page. It's been a while since I really had to kind of pay attention to some of the stuff he's saying, but he's saying like we paths after thing with like the cartoons and stuff like that and whatever, and so he's just kind of Henry had a nice life, a nice family. Joey just kind of went down the wrong path, I guess.
So okay.
Do the right thing.
So are they trying to feel like Joey's feeling some sort of angst towards Henry because Henry made a success out of him and Joey was a screw up or something
Now
like
Joey's,
that?
I don't know. Now Joey's telling us to go to the workshop.
Huh?
And now we're back at the beginning of the game. So welcome to part 1, everybody. No, just kidding.
Okay. What?
That really kind of blew me away the first time, and that's it. That's kind of why I was saying earlier that like the yellow writing is kind of a different version of Henry because it kind of makes it seem like you're kind of just going around in a loop.
Huh. Okay. That was an ending.
So they were kind of blew me away the first time. So I guess now that we've seen the whole game, what did you guys think of it?
Well, that ending's really confusing.
It is kind of, I don't really understand it much.
What ending is supposed to be confusing?
Right, like it's like they deliberately left it vague for like I don't know if it was even for interesting reasons. It was just a reason because I actually don't understand. So like, oh, hello, there's still more.
Yeah, this is just like a last little thing. I mean, the credits still aren't technically done. We had like the main credits, but this is just like a little
post-credit scene.
yeah, kind of.
Oh,
Congratulations
On your success,
like that.
your best pal, everything.
Oh, look at that. Bendy, Alice, and Boris. That's fun.
And as we just heard, somebody just said, "Tell me another story, Uncle Joey."
Yeah, so
this is
Sequel bait!
I mean, honestly, yeah, that is supposed to kind of set for a sequel, yeah, because I guess that's supposed to be like Joey was telling, I guess like a story or something.
Which also gives us the point of view that this might be all made up.
That was a scary story then.
I mean, yeah, but some kids are into that shit.
More or less, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so that, barring the ending, which I have no idea what that was,
That's your own fault.
what do you mean it's my own?
You don't understand.
Man, if I don't...
Can't understand.
Oh, shut up, Carlos. You're no fun. So,
Oh, I just noticed they put like a bunch of songs that were made by other people.
Yeah, there was. We didn't really kind of like look for them, but there were some parts in some chapters that had like a little radio, and they like reference to like a Bendy and the Ink Machine song that like some kind of creator made actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And then this is also showing all the fan art that got put into the game as like Easter egg.
Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, what I think of it, barring the ending, which I found really confusing, I think this is a really fun game. It looks like a really fun game. I love I guess the first-person perspective just really puts you into the things. I think horror, though, like at least the horror element of a game is a lot better effectuated from the first-person perspective. So
Did we ever scream at anything here? Did we actually ever get afraid? Anything we're supposed to get afraid of?
You know what I'm talking about, though, Carlos.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you can shut up.
No.
Jesus, but it looks like a very fun game. I like the premise and everything, and the whole religious element to it as well. It's a really thought-invoking game, and when it comes to that perspective. Chapter 3 is a bore.
Yeah.
Like everything is fine. Like the pacing of this game I think is great until it got to chapter 3, then everything absolutely slowed down. So there's that unfortunate part.
Stop.
Yeah. It's time to stop. Speed up. So there's that, and that's probably the one negative I have about it, is just like the pacing absolutely throughout the window. And yeah, and I also like the fun factor of it is like I don't know if the developers were even thinking this when they were making it, but how they were making a whole toy factory, a railroad, a scrambler, everything in it. I don't know if the developers forgot that the setting was an animation studio or not. But I
mean, if they forgot.
Oh, but here's the thing, also, but the angle of it's a story that's being told, it makes sense that some of this shit is kind of exaggerated.
Yeah, so that's why I'm wondering if they forgot or they just did it for the sake of being fun with it.
Yeah, probably for the fun of it.
Probably. That's I actually really like that, and I think it's really funny that there's a scrambler tried to kill you instead of an animation studio. So there's a lot of fun and nuance to this game. This is really fun. I enjoyed watching this.
Yeah. Carlos?
Yeah?
What did you think of it?
I said all I thought during this commentary. If they want to know what I think of it, they gotta have a piece of themselves.
Yeah, watch the whole thing again, everybody. Yeah, so and just kind of one last little thing, and I definitely agree with both of you. Yeah, it definitely is a really like interesting kind of like stuff going on with it, and it definitely kind of seemed like they had a lot of fun making it, and whatever. And if it wasn't really incredibly setting up for a sequel, they are working on it. It hasn't come out yet, but they are working on it.
Wouldn't that be the Dark Revival, or is that not in? I'm pretty sure that's out.
Huh?
What? Is it called Bendy and the Dark Revival?
Yeah, Bendy and the Dark Revival.
Huh. Well, I mean, yeah, that is what it's called, but I don't think it. There's Boris and the Dark Survival, which is a side game. But,
Oh no, never mind. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
It says its release date is 2021.
Well, we're kind of almost done with 2021.
Yeah, so get to work on it.
Get it done faster.
Which you can check out the live stream of that on Josh's Twit.
honestly, I just might. And I definitely agree. Yeah, Chapter 3 is really stupidly paced and stuff. I really wish they made it a bit shorter.
It's a fucking wacky adventure of just like, hey, let's temporarily make it into an RPG. Because if you ever play an RPG, it's basically Fetch Quest a game.
Yes.
But just kind of one last little thing, and I could go into more detail if I make my own little video going through all the extra stuff after finishing the game, which I still think I might do, because it showed at the end. Because it showed at the end that you just kind of loop back around and stuff like that. One of the first, actually, like the magnifying glass thing or whatever in Chapter 1, is you see a bunch of tick marks in the yellow ink that's hidden, which is supposed to kind of mean Henry has gone through this so many times that he's filled up
all the entire room.
Yeah, he started to realize he's going through, and so he's leaving all these messages throughout all chapters. to help you try to, I guess, maybe change something or whatever. To kind of break the loop.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Joey at the end of every playthrough, fucking do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again. Just like I just said, they want to know how I think of this game. That present themselves. Do the entire thing again.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you back with part 1. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope whoever watched this enjoyed in experiencing this game as much as we did. And I'll see you for whatever next we decide to record.